Today I'm going to summarize one of my favorite books called The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, written by Harv Eker. In this book, Eker talks about 17 key differences between rich people and poor people. Keep in mind that when I say millionaires, I am referring to people who have earned their millions through legal, ethical, and moral means. And when I say poor, I don't mean to belittle poor people. In fact, I have been poor most of my life. When I say poor, I am referring to their state of mind. If you watch the video to the end, you can tell you've read this book because I covered the 17 differences in a very simple way. First difference: the rich think big, the poor think small. Have you ever gone shopping and spent several hours in several stores to find the cheapest products to save 0.5 to 0.60 euro? If you have done this, you have a poor man's mentality. I'm sorry to say this, but let me explain. Of course, it's not a bad thing to save money while you're shopping. But that changes when it comes to how much you'll save versus how much time you'll spend on that savings. If you spend 1 hour looking for the cheapest oranges or tomatoes to save 0.60 euro, the value of your hour is 0.60 euro. In comparison, rich people don't care about saving 0.60 euro. They understand the value of their time and are constantly thinking of projects or new things they can do to make their hours worth $6,000 or $60,000. Second difference: the rich choose to be paid based on results. The poor choose to be paid based on time. I very often hear people complain that they deserve a better salary, simply because they have been with the company for more than 5 years. But in reality, it's not like that. For example, if I spend 80 hours producing a poor quality video, will you watch it just because I spent 80 hours? Of course not. You don't care about the time I spent. You only care if the video is good for you or not. If it's not, you stop watching it. No one cares how much time you spend on anything. The real question is whether you can deliver something valuable. It's about the result, not the effort or time spent. Third difference: the rich think both, the poor think one or the other. The poor think there is not enough and that you can't have everything. The rich think that there is enough for everyone and that you can have everything you really want. The poor believe in scarcity, the rich believe in abundance. Do you want a successful career or a good relationship with your family? Why not both? Do you want to focus on business or have fun and play? Do you want a blonde or brunette girlfriend? Why not both? That last one was a joke, but you get the gist. The rich always want both. Poor people always choose one. The poor see the world as a cake and believe that everyone will get a piece and the cake will soon be finished. On the other hand, the rich see the world as an open buffet. Once the dish is finished, the waitress adds more and you can eat as much as you want. The poor think they have to choose between money and other aspects of life. But do you have to choose between money and happiness? No, of course not. Money is important and happiness is important. You can have both. Many people have negative feelings about wealth. They think that getting rich makes you bad. That's why they think they have to choose between being rich and being a nice person. So they choose to be nice and stay broke. You probably heard someone say that person really changed after becoming rich, or money has changed that person a lot. I really believe that money doesn't change. Money makes you more of what you already are. If you are a kind person, money makes you a kind and rich person. If you like to help others, money gives you the opportunity to help even more people. On the other hand, if you are a jerk, money makes you a rich jerk. If you do bad things after you get rich, it means you were already bad. Having money just makes it obvious. Fourth difference: rich people focus on opportunities, poor people focus on obstacles. This is my favorite. Whenever I have a new idea, I share it with people to get feedback. It's very rare to see someone who recognizes the problems with the idea, but at the same time, focuses on the opportunities it can bring. Almost all the time, I hear tons of people telling me that my idea will fail. And that's how poor people think. They constantly see obstacles, risks, and always focus on the problems, while the rich focus on the opportunities. The poor make choices based on fear. Their mind is constantly looking for what is wrong or might be wrong in any situation. Their main mindset is, and if it doesn't work or more often, it won't work. I'm not saying don't deal with problems, of course, deal with problems when they arise. But don't let fear and problems stop you. If you focus on the problems, you will have problems. If you focus on opportunities, you will have opportunities. It's a simple universal law. Fifth difference: the rich associate with positive people who have succeeded, while the poor associate with negative or unsuccessful people. In short, if you want to fly with the eagles, don't swim with the ducks. If your goal is to become rich, study rich people, hang out with successful rich people and use them as a role model, do what they do, read what they read. There is a reason why they are rich. For example, if you want to create a successful YouTube channel, find the successful channels in your field and study what they do, the type of content they create, the length of their videos, the style they use. If you take the exact same steps and have the exact same mindset, chances are you'll get very similar results. When I give this advice, people get upset and say, you want me to copy others? You want me to be unoriginal? You want me to steal other people's work? No, I don't say anything. All for some reason. These days, people want to be Mark Zuckerberg and invent the next Facebook. If you're a regular guy like me, you're more likely to succeed by taking inspiration from successful people. That doesn't mean you're not original. For example, if you decide to create the summary of the same book I'm summarizing, to use the same animation format I'm currently using, to use the same background music, your content will always be unique because you have a unique voice, a unique way of explaining things. Even if you do the same thing, your content will always be different from mine. By the way, you've probably noticed that there are already a lot of channels that do exactly the same thing as me. But despite that, this channel will constantly grow. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to brag or say look how great my channel is. The reason I'm talking about myself and you and I can easily relate. If I give you the example of the founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, it will probably be hard for you to identify with his story. But you and I are two simple people trying to better ourselves. Another complaint I often hear is that I don't have rich people around me. So how can I surround myself with rich, successful people? Look, you don't have to have them. You can just find successful people and read their books or watch their videos. You can't ask Arnold Schwarzenegger to spend time with you so you can study him and get in shape. But you know he has tons of videos and he wrote a book. So why not read his book or watch his videos? Personally, I don't have a rich friend in my circle. The authors of these types of books are rich friends to me. I hang out with them by reading their books, watching their videos, and listening to their podcast. Sixth difference: the rich know what they want and are committed to getting it. The poor just want to be rich. Imagine you and your friend are hanging out in the city center and you want to eat a baguette. Your friend approaches the stand and says, "Hello, I want to buy a baguette, please give me a baguette." The salesperson behind the stand will probably be confused and ask what type of baguette your friend wants. Because there are many different types of baguettes. This is exactly the same approach that poor people use when it comes to getting rich. They just want to be rich, but they don't know what a rich life looks like for them. If you don't know exactly what you want, the girl selling the wand will give you the wand of her choice and you'll leave. Now imagine walking up and saying, "Hello, I want a tuna stick with smoked cheese. But I don't want that kind of bread. Give me this whole wheat bread with sunflower seeds. Don't put onions, put cucumber, tomato and toast it." Guess what? The girl will give you exactly what you asked for. In the same way, rich people don't see mixed messages. Only the poor do. The number one reason most people don't get what they want is that they don't know what they want. You need to know what a rich life looks like for you and have a plan to get there. For example, for me, a wealthy life means having the freedom to work when I want. I want to be able to take a cab whenever I want. I don't like taking public transportation and feeling sweaty, especially if I have an important meeting to attend when I go to a restaurant. I want to be able to open the menu and choose what I want, without looking at the price column first. I want to be able to take my parents on vacation twice a year. I want to be able to help people around me when they are having financial difficulties. I want to be able to wake up at 11 a.m. on Tuesday and go for a walk in the park and just breathe. I want to be able to go to the gym in the middle of the day and come back when I feel like it. This is my rich life and I have the plan to make it happen. Difference number 7. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their values. Poor people have a negative view of selling and promoting themselves. Let me put it this way. If you had a cure for some disease, cash, would you be at a person suffering from it? I don't think so. In the same way, if you believe that what you have to offer can really help people, it is your duty to promote it. It is your obligation to promote it. By not promoting it, you are doing people a disservice. Maybe the product you are selling is the product that can change my life. But if you don't promote it, I lose the chance to change my life. Not promoting is one of the biggest barriers to success. People who have problems with sales and promotion are usually broke. How can you create a significant income in your business? If you're not willing to let people know your product or services exist, no matter what you do, you need to be good at sales and promotion. Almost every aspect of our lives involves selling. For example, when you try to convince your partner to go to a restaurant instead of shopping, you are selling. When you try to convince your daughter to study, you're actually selling. Right now, I'm selling. I'm selling you my video and you're paying for it with your time. You are paying with minutes of your life and I am not ashamed to sell you my video. I'm not ashamed to promote it and ask you to press the blue thumb and subscribe. Because I know that the ideas in this type of book can really help you change your mindset. Difference number 8. The rich believe in I create my life. Poor people believe in life happened to me. If you want to create wealth, it's important that you believe that you're in the driver's seat. Poor people go through life as passengers. Rich people, on the other hand, are always sitting behind the wheel. Have you ever noticed that it is usually the poor who spend a lot of money playing the lottery? In fact, they are very hopeful that someone will come along and pull their name out of a hat and provide them with money, which will allow them to become wealthy at heart. The poor also justify their situation. They say things like money is not important, happiness and love are important. This kind of comparison is not correct. Let me ask you a question. Is your leg important or your arm? You are probably thinking, what a stupid question. Of course, both are important. You are absolutely right. Both are important, in the same way that money and happiness are both important. Money and love are both important. Food and water are both important. The poor also blame others. It is never their fault, it is always the fault of others. They always act like victims. I have 2 cousins who grew up in the same village, went to the same school, had the same teachers and both had poor parents. Today, one of them is very successful and the other is not. And the most interesting thing is that they both give the same reasons for their current situation. The poor cousin blames the poor education system, poor parents, the government and the system for his failure. On the other hand, the rich cousin used the same reasons to succeed. He says, I knew the school system was bad and my parents were poor. That's why I started educating myself and learning new things. He does not blame anyone or anything. Another reason why poor people are poor is that they complain when people complain. They focus on what is wrong with their lives. You have to know that the thing you are focusing on will get bigger. That's how you keep getting more of what's wrong. Difference number 9, the rich manage their money well and the poor manage it poorly. Money is just a tool like your computer or your phone. So you have to learn how to use it. We spend many hours learning how to use a computer. But when it comes to money, people ignore this simple fact. They don't want to pick up a book to learn how money works and how to manage it. To me, that doesn't make sense, because we work 9 to 5 every week for that money. But when it comes to learning how to manage it, many people fail. Given the number of poor people who complain about their financial situation, you'd think it would make sense to learn the basics of money, but it almost never does. The rich aren't smarter than the poor. They just have different, more money-friendly habits. To master money, you have to manage it. Saying I'll start managing my money as soon as I have it is like an overweight person saying I'll start exercising and dieting as soon as I lose 10 pounds. Start by managing the money you have properly. Then you'll have more money to manage. If your son can't even handle and maintain his bike, would you buy him a car? Of course not. The same logic applies to the universe and to you. The universe says until you show you can handle what you have, you won't get more. The author even says that if you borrow money to live, you must learn to manage that money. The most important thing is to exercise the money management muscle so that it becomes a habit. It is very important to start by creating the habit. For example, if your goal is to go to the gym every morning so that you can do squats with 100 kilos, you must first learn to lift a 1 kilo blanket before you can lift a heavy 100 kilo weight. If you are not used to lifting the blanket and getting out of bed, you will never reach your goal. To manage your money well, the author recommends creating 5 accounts: the investment account, the hobby account, the education account, the gift account and the spending account. You should put 10% of your after-tax income into your investment account. This is the account that will create laws that lay golden eggs, and that also recommends putting an equal amount 10% on your leisure account. The money on the leisure account should be spent at the end of the month on fun activities. You should spend this money in a way that makes you feel rich and happy. If you continue to save, the fun-seeking part of you will eventually sabotage your other accounts. Difference number 10, the rich are bigger than their problems, the poor are smaller than their problems. The secret to success is not to try to avoid or get rid of these problems. The secret is to develop yourself to be bigger than any problem. No matter how rich or poor you are, you will face problems. The size of the problem is never the problem. What matters is your size. The bigger the problems you can handle, the bigger your business, the more responsibilities you have, the more employees you have, and the more money you have. The things we call problems are really just situations. We make it a problem respectively. Some people make it a problem, others are not even affected. How can the same situation be a problem for one person and not for another? It depends on the person, it depends on you. You can be laid off and depressed all day and complain. Or you can use your free time to start your own business. Difference number 11, rich people are excellent receivers, poor people are bad receivers. A bad receiver is a person who cannot receive well. And what do we receive? We receive praise, compliments, money, gifts and many other things. Many of us have difficulty receiving such things. The author says that we are conditioned in this way. Growing up, we heard things like "this is wrong. You don't fit the bill. What did you do?" These phrases all reinforce the feeling of not being good enough, and not feeling good enough is one of the reasons we are poor receivers. From now on, accept whatever someone offers you. If someone tells you that you are beautiful, say thank you. Instead of what? "No, I look terrible today." It's as simple as that. Just say thank you and receive your compliment. Eckhart says it's funny, when I was broke and saw 0.01 euros on the ground, would never bend down so low to pick up that penny. Now that I'm rich, however, I pick up anything that looks like money, then kiss it for luck and declare out loud I'm a money magnet. Thank you, thank you. Difference number 12, the rich play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game not to lose. In sports, teams that play strictly defense and not offense have a hard time winning. Unfortunately, most people play the money game on defense, or their primary concern is survival rather than wealth and abundance. The poor want to have enough money to pay the bills. Intention is a very important thing, and when your intention is to have enough money to pay the bills, guess what? That's exactly what you will get, nothing more. You have to aim high. You have to aim for the stars so you can at least touch the moon. The author says if your goal is to be comfortable, chances are you'll never get rich. But if your goal is to be rich, you will end up very comfortable. Difference number 13, the rich make their money work for them, the poor work hard for their money. And Hart says I agree, you should work for your money. But for the rich, this situation is only momentary. For the poor, it is endless. The rich think that in order for money to work hard and take your place, you must first work hard. They also know that the harder your money works, the less you have to work. The first goal should be to become financially free as quickly as possible. Eker defines financial freedom in a simple way. Financial freedom is the ability to live the lifestyle you want without having to work or depend on someone else for money. And how is this possible? You need a passive income. In short, you become financially free when your passive income exceeds your expenses. Many people don't know the difference between being rich and being financially free. They think you have to be rich first to be financially free, but that's not true. Financial freedom comes first because it's easier and faster to do. Let me ask you a question: is it easier to climb a 10-step ladder or a 1,000-step ladder? Of course, the 10-step ladder is easier, right? Using this analogy, we can say that becoming financially free is like climbing the 10-step ladder, and becoming rich is like climbing the 1,000-step ladder. Try the easier goal first and become financially free. Once you have passive income and don't have to work for anyone, you can use that free time to get rich. And that says that in her seminar, one of the students realized that if she simply rented her apartment and moved to a cheaper place, her passive income from rent would be enough to cover all her expenses, and she could even save money. And that's exactly what she did. She rented her apartment and moved to a cheaper, more exotic location and freed herself financially. Only then did she start building her business and become wealthy. So focus first on the 10-step ladder and creating enough passive income that you don't have to work for someone. And once that's done, you can then think about the rest. There are two main sources of passive income. The first is money that works for you. This is investment income from financial instruments such as stocks, bonds, or other assets that increase in value. The second major source of passive income is the business that works for you. This is generating ongoing income from businesses in which you don't need to be personally involved for the business to work and bring you income. The simplest example of this may be real estate. Difference number 14, the rich focus on their net worth, the poor focus on their labor income. When it comes to money, the question most often asked is how much do you make? The question what is your net worth? Is rarely heard. A small number of people talk this way. Wealth is measured by net worth, not by labor income. It has always been that way, and it always will be. To find out your net worth, you simply add up the value of everything you own with your cash and investments such as stocks, bonds, real estate, the current value of your business if you have one, and the value of your home if you own it, and then subtract anything you owe. Net worth is considered the ultimate measure of wealth, because if necessary, what you own can be turned into cash. After calculating your net worth, draw a vertical line on a page, put 0 at the bottom of the line and at the top of the line. Write down your desired net worth. Let's say $1 million. Once you've done that, put your current net worth on that line and see how close you are to your desired amount. From time to time, say every month or quarter, check this line and update it accordingly. Even if you are currently at 0 or less, I recommend you do this exercise because what is tracked is improved. Difference number 15, the rich act in spite of fear. The poor let fear stop them. In the book, Hooker talks about the manifestation formula. According to this formula, thoughts produce feelings. Feelings then lead to actions and actions lead to results. For example, are you thinking about a donut? That creates a feeling of craving, of donut. Then you get up and go to the store to buy it, bathe. If this process is constantly repeated, you gain weight. Thoughts and feelings are part of your inner world. Weight gain is part of your outer world. Action is the bridge between the inner world and the outer world. If there is no action, your thoughts and feelings about wealth are useless. Many people read this type of book to become rich, but most of them do not take action and apply what they have learned. It's not about how many books you read, but how many books you apply in real life. Reading without action is like looking at the picture of the girl you like on Facebook all day instead of going to talk to her face to face. If action plays a key role in success, what keeps us from taking action? Fear, dread, doubt, and worry are the most common obstacles, not only to success, but also to happiness. One of the biggest differences between the rich and the poor is that the rich are always ready to act, even if they feel fear, even if they are uncomfortable. The poor, on the other hand, let fear stop them. They don't want to feel uncomfortable. If you are willing to do what is comfortable, life will be uncomfortable. But if you are willing to do what is uncomfortable, life will be pretty comfortable. Fear and discomfort should not stop you. Fear is a product of the mind. Your mind is a fear detector, not a success detector. As soon as you start to do something comfortable, your mind will show you dozens of horrible cases to stop you. Our mind is the greatest writer of horror scenarios. Training and managing your own mind is the most important skill you can have. If you want to learn how to control your mind, I recommend watching my video on the book The Power of the Present Moment. Difference number 16, rich people are constantly learning and growing. Poor people think they already know everything, and Hart says the three most dangerous words are, "I know that." The question is, how do you know something? Here is the answer. If you live it, you know it. If not, you've heard about it or read about it or talk about it, but you don't know it. Frankly, if you're not rich and happy, chances are you still have a lot to learn. Money, success, and life. Consider this: if you are not as successful as you would like to be, there is something you don't know. If you are not rich, it means there are many new things you need to learn and apply. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. Difference number 17, rich people look up to other rich and successful people. The poor resent the rich and successful. When I was in high school, there was a very rich man, and every time I saw him drive by our neighborhood in his new Mercedes, I heard many negative stories about his luxurious life. When I asked people if they knew what they did for a living, no one was able to give me a specific answer. But almost everyone assumed that they were doing a criminal job and that they were bad. Several years later, I had the opportunity to talk to this person at my internship and learned that he had spent most of his childhood in poverty. This motivated him to work harder and become a CEO after knowing this person and hearing his life story. I realized that poor people often hold on to the success of others with resentment, jealousy, and envy. That was the final difference. Please put your favorite idea or sound bite from this video in the comments. If this video helped you even a little bit, don't forget to give us a thumb up. It helps the channel a lot and motivates to summarize more books. See you in the next video.